Hi, my name's Kirsty and I run Paper and Smile Studio, which is an arts and crafts studio running workshops and parties for people of all ages and abilities in Wiltshire in the UK. I'm currently decamped the studio to our half bedroom at home due to coronavirus, and I'm desperately missing teaching people and being with people. But I've had lots of requests for workshops and videos and tutorials, so I'm currently teaching myself how to put videos together, and I'm going to hopefully be sharing lots of creative tips, crafty tricks, and some ideas with you so that you can start your creative journey at home. So today's video is an introduction to these acrylic paint pens. They come from Amazon. They're by a company called Cambridge Art Supplies. I've used them since I opened the studio last year, and the two sets that I had have painted hundreds and hundreds of rocks and been used at lots of different workshops for lots of different purposes. They're very versatile. They're a reasonable price, and I've recently shared a link on social media and had lots of people saying that their markers are on the way, so I thought a perfect time to do an introductory video showing you how to get them set up and get you kicked off with the very addictive hobby of pebble painting. So the great thing about these pens is that they also come with a box of spare nibs. You've got a narrow chisel tip for fine detail and a bullet tip end. So these are interchangeable on the pens, and if you wear them out you can replace them, which is great. This pack also comes with a pack of refills. I love these pens. I originally bought these pens at the studio because you could get the refills for them. They didn't used to come with the refills, so I think such a bargain. Just demonstrating here. So when that barrel is empty, you literally unscrew it, replace it with a replacement, screw the pen back together, possibly have to give it a bit of a shake to get the ink going, and away you go. So this next bit here, I just thought I'd show you these pens from the beginning. And so basically when you get them you have to prime them, so that involves a little bit of shaking and a little bit of up and down, padding them up and down on a piece of paper. I really recommend that you put the lid on them when you shake them, and as you can see here, it doesn't take too long before the ink starts flowing down the nib. Actually this black took much longer than usual. It won't take you very long to get them all primed. As I've already mentioned, you can interchange the nib. So here's the black that I've just primed. I'm just using a pair of tweezers to gently grip the nib and turn it around. So it was set on, or they all come with a bullet tip in position. But if you wanted to do some finer detail, then you could just use some tweezers and turn the nib around. So I just wanted to demonstrate the opacity of all the pens and all the lovely colours that you get. So you get a great metallic silver and gold as bonus pens with this pack. You then get a white, a black and all the other colours you can see. And as you can see from the black line that I've already drawn, most of the colours give it a good covering the first time. I haven't done a second coat on here, but once they're dry you could go over it with a second coat, and I'm pretty sure that pretty much all of those colours will cover the black. Now that you've got your pens and they're all primed, all you need to get going with some pebble painting is pebbles. The pebbles that you can see here are from a local garden centre. I think they're listed as river pebbles. You can buy art painting pebbles online, so there are lots of different places that you can get them from. And of course you can have a rummage in your garden and see what you can find. Stones don't have to be perfectly round, they don't have to be perfect for painting. It just depends how much of a go with the flow kind of person you are. One point to note, in the UK lots of beaches ask you not to remove pebbles, so it's best to check if you're planning on foraging out in the world for pebbles that you're okay to remove them. So once you've got your pebbles, the first thing you need to do is make sure that they're nice and clean, free from grit and dirt and ready to be painted. So I just pop these into some water, swish them around a bit to make sure that all the grit and sand is removed, and then leave them somewhere to dry naturally. So I'm going to show you a few really simple designs that you can do with your paint pens straight away. As you can see, they paint directly onto the pebble. This one here, I'm just giving one coat of red, and then as soon as it's dry, which isn't very long, they literally take minutes to be touch dry, but you want to make sure they're dry before you go over them in any other colours. So as you can see, I've made a cute little ladybird here. I'm going to leave the black to dry before I add some extra colours. This one here, I did exactly the same as I did with the red one, but I used a white to make a background, just to show you how opaque they are on a pebble. So that was just one layer of white, and again I let that dry before adding all the other colours to make this little rainbow here. So you can see how dark that pebble is there. And while I'm painting that one, the ladybird should be dry and ready for the next level of detail. So I just wanted to show you a few other simple designs that you can do with these pens. It doesn't matter if you don't think you can draw, anyone can draw. You could just colour in the rocks and draw some simple geometric shapes on them. As you can see here, I'm really just doodling. It's kind of turned into a mandala. That's just one of my favourite things to doodle. But I just wanted to show you how versatile they are, and it's so mess free with these pens. So you can really get going on a rock painting without having to splash out on loads of equipment. All you need are these pens and some pebbles, and then you can dip your toe in the water and see if you get hooked or not. My bet is that you probably will. Just one final tip from me before I go. You can see that it's quite tricky to tell from some of the colours which colour you're actually picking up from looking at the barrel. And as you're probably going to be keeping them in the box that they come in, one top tip for me is just to use the pen to colour in the tip of the lid. So that means at a glance, when you go to the pack, you can easily see which one you're picking out. And as you can see, I'm having a little tidy up here. And it's so much easier to see which colour you're going for. So that's been a whistle-stop tour of acrylic paint pens and pebble painting. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I hope that if you've not come across acrylic paint pens before or pebble painting, that it's inspired you to have a go. The pens that I use in this video are from a company called Cambridge Art Supplies, and you can buy them on Amazon. I've dropped the Amazon link in the description to this video, and if you follow that link to buy the markers, then I get a tiny percentage back as a way of saying thank you for recommending them. I'm not linked in any way to Cambridge Art Supplies. I just really like these pens. When I opened the studio last year, I bought 2 sets of these pens so that I could have a way of doing quick and mess-free painting with children initially. These pens have been used by hundreds of children and adults for painting various things, mainly pebbles, and I've taken them into schools, I've used them at workshops and parties and even on the beach. They're a real nice thing to have in your at-home art supplies, and I think that if you've not got any paint markers, this is a really good set to get started. You've got all the colours in there that you might need, and they're a really good value price. And the fact that they come with the refills as well means that they're going to last you a really, really long time. You can use them on a variety of surfaces, not just for pebbles, and they're great on pens and paper. It's a really nice way of, a mess-free way of painting. So sometimes if you just really don't want to get your pots and paints and brushes out, it's a really good way of actually being able to paint, but without making too much mess. And as I've mentioned, they're really portable, so you can take them to the beach or wherever and sit and paint pebbles. As long as the surface that you're painting is dust free, you won't get any cracking. And the thing that I wanted to mention is, I know lots of people ask me, do they need to varnish their rocks? The answer to that is no. I've got rocks in my garden that I painted last summer with my son, and the pictures are still there. They fade slightly over time, but they will last. If you want your illustrations or artwork to stay vibrant and bright, you may choose to varnish your pebbles, but you don't have to. If you want to varnish your pebbles, you could use something like polyurethane varnish. I would recommend using a clear varnish, and I would also recommend testing it on the underside of your rock before you get going, because some of the varnishes change the colour of the rock and also change the colour of the paints on the rock. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I'm planning lots more. You can give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. If you've got any questions or comments, or think I've missed anything off, then please feel free to drop a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed today. There will be more videos coming soon. And also you can find me on @paper&smiles across most social media platforms. Thanks so much for watching, and stay safe and keep being creative.